Captain Marcus Chen had been alone on the research station for 73 days when the first wave arrived. The HFY Dominion had made their intentions clear through intercepted transmissions. Humanity's expansion into the Outer Rim was unacceptable. The research station on Kepler 442c, with its skeleton crew of 1, would serve as an example. They would send their most feared bioweapons, the Ravagers, to ensure no human would dare venture into their territory again. Marcus watched the sleek alien pods descend through the atmosphere like falling stars. Each one contained a creature bred for one purpose: killing humans with maximum efficiency. The Ravagers were 7 feet of chitinous armor, razor claws, and predatory intelligence. They could track a human across continents and had never failed to eliminate their targets. "Well," Marcus muttered, checking his rifle's charge pack, "guess it's going to be an interesting week." The first Ravager breached the station's outer hull at 0300 hours. Marcus had spent the previous day setting traps, sealing corridors, and creating choke points. But as the creature's claws tore through reinforced steel like paper, he realized his preparations might not be enough. The thing that emerged from the breach defied his expectations. Yes, it was terrifying, a biomechanical nightmare of black carapace and glowing red eyes. But it was also small. Not 7 feet of killing machine, but perhaps 4 feet of confused, chittering creature that seemed more lost than lethal. Marcus lowered his rifle slightly. "You're just a baby, aren't you?" The young Ravager's head tilted at the sound of his voice. Its mandibles clicked uncertainly, and it took a tentative step forward. When Marcus didn't immediately attack, it sat back on its haunches like an oversized armored puppy. "Where's your pack?" Marcus asked, though he suspected he knew the answer. The HFY had sent juveniles, probably assuming even their young would be more than sufficient to kill a single human. Over the next hour, 2 more pods landed. Each disgorged a similarly undersized Ravager, and Marcus began to understand the situation. These weren't trained killers. They were essentially children, dumped on an alien world with nothing but instinct and hunger to guide them. The first juvenile, Marcus had started thinking of it as Scout, followed him at a distance as he investigated the new arrivals. When one of the other young Ravagers approached aggressively, Scout positioned itself between them and Marcus, chittering what sounded almost like a warning. "Protecting me now?" Marcus chuckled. "Your bosses really didn't think this through." By day 3, Marcus had established a routine. The Ravagers were clearly carnivorous, but the station's protein synthesizers could be modified to produce something resembling their natural prey. Scout had become brave enough to eat from his hand while the other 2, Prowler and Dash, watched from the shadows. Marcus discovered they were remarkably intelligent. Scout learned to operate door controls within hours of observation. Prowler figured out how to disable Marcus's motion sensors, not to attack, but apparently because the beeping annoyed it. Dash showed an alarming aptitude for electronics, somehow managing to tap into the station's communication array. "You 3 are going to get me in so much trouble," Marcus said as he watched Dash's claws dance over the control interface with surprising delicacy. The second wave arrived on day 7. These were adult Ravagers, the real deal. 3 pods containing creatures that matched every terrifying description in the military briefings. Marcus felt his blood freeze as he watched them emerge. 7 feet of biomechanical death, moving with predatory grace toward the station. But as they approached the main airlock, something unexpected happened. Scout, Prowler, and Dash positioned themselves between the adults and the entrance. Their chittering took on a distinctly different tone, aggressive, territorial. Marcus watched through the security feeds as the juveniles faced off against their elders. The adults seemed confused, their movements uncertain. They hadn't expected resistance from their own kind. Scout's head turned toward the nearest camera, its red eyes seeming to look directly at Marcus. Then it did something that defied every xenobiological report. It made a sound that was unmistakably an attempt at human speech. Marcus. The name was mangled by alien vocal cords, but the intent was clear. The young Ravager was claiming the human as its own. The standoff lasted for hours. The adult Ravagers circled the station, occasionally testing the juvenile's resolve but never quite committing to an attack. As night fell, they retreated to the forest to reconsider their approach. "They're going to try again," Marcus said to Scout, who had returned to the station. The juvenile creature tilted its head, and Marcus could swear he saw understanding in those alien eyes. "But you 3, you're going to help me, aren't you?" Scout's mandibles clicked in what Marcus had learned was its version of agreement. The battle, when it came, was unlike anything in military doctrine. Marcus fought alongside creatures that should have been his executioners, while their own kind tried to complete the mission they'd failed to fulfill. The juvenile's intimate knowledge of Ravager weaknesses, combined with Marcus's human ingenuity, proved devastating. When the sun rose, 3 adult Ravagers lay dead, and Marcus was patching up Dash's wounded foreleg while Scout actually purred, at his touch. 2 months later, when the rescue ship finally arrived, they found Marcus playing what appeared to be fetch with 3 domesticated bioweapons in the station's main bay. "Captain Chen," the rescue team leader stammered, "what exactly happened here?" Marcus scratched behind Scout's armored head, earning a content rumble. "The Kethvar sent monsters to kill me," he said simply. "Turns out they just needed better parenting. The Dominion never sent another assassination team. Word had spread through their ranks of the human who turned their ultimate weapons into loyal companions, and worse, who had taught them to reproduce their loyalty in others. They decided some territories might not be worth defending after all.